Oh shit, yeah, I forgot. This is Kagari's time now. I wonder if, like, whether the rest of those... I've forgotten the name of the damn thing. I wonder if where with Twin Automata it was all, like, all mostly Maho's perspective. I wonder if, like, this time it's mostly Kagari's perspective. Actually, I say that, we haven't actually gotten to the point where the timeline branches, I don't think. Oh, for the endings. This is the bit before the branch. Nah, I'm talking out my arse. Ignore me all. I say that. It's kind of hard to ignore me during my intro, isn't it? It's where the video starts. This is the weirdest intro I've ever goddamn done. Hey there, guys! My name is Nix, and welcome back to Steins Gate 0. Last time... Oh, God, last time. She came back! Very briefly. She made her appearance, and it was glorious, and I probably maybe cried a bit. Shut up. It was good to see Kurisu, damn it. Like the actual Kurisu. Not Amadeus. Anyway, then we came back and Amadeus didn't exist. So that's going to be mildly problematic moving forward. Oh yeah, then we went to see what... Oh yeah, Kagari knows Mayuri is her mum now. And vice versa. Not that... You know what I mean. So, I guess now we're seeing things from Kagari's side. So, it's going to be interesting. I prepared water in advance because, God, I knew doing these voices is going to hurt. Sheena Kagari felt happier and more fulfilled than the people around her thought she was. Her memories were missing. All she had now were memories of when she was young. She'd gone to the past when she was 10 and then gotten separated from Suzuha. Her memories afterwards were a total blank, with the exception of the last few weeks. Her oldest memories after her childhood were of the ceiling she saw when she woke up. It was the ceiling of an old temple, with stains here and there, and that looked like faces. It's a bit... You saw Jesus in your coffee stains? What? I don't know. She remembered being a little scared. Shortly after that, she was given to Yanabayashi Shrine. Wow, way to make it sound like a possession. Kagari? Would you like some tea? Oh, yes. Thanks, Luca. Okay, I'll put some on. I feel like this Luca voice has evolved over the time, but I don't know. See, I'm trying to strike a balance between, like, an effeminate male and, like, trying not to go too far into the scared, like, girl voice I put on for her in him, her. Touchy subject. For the same voice I put on in the original. That's when she'd met Luca Ueshibara. I know I said that I almost said correct way. That's, well, shut up, me. Just read. At the time, she hadn't realized that she already knew him. Ueshibara Luca was a good friend of her adopted mother, Sheena Mayuri. He played with her a lot when they were kids. When she was younger, she'd always thought he was a woman. People still make that people still get that wrong today. Hell, I do. Cue me from like 2 minutes ago. To Kagari's young eyes, he'd been a strong, grown-up woman. At the time, she'd always wondered why Suzuha had called him Big Brother Luca. Here you are. Thank you. But the Luca in front of her now was far younger than the one she had known. He looked like a very pretty girl. And not nearly as strong. Wait, Luca got buff in the future? I don't know whether to be terrified or not. So she'd only realized that he was the Ueshibara Luca she knew after meeting her mother. This tea tastes a little different. It's rosemary tea. It's supposed to help you concentrate and improve your memory. I had Faris give me some. Improving your memory and finding lost memories seemed like totally different things to her, but she didn't say so. Just the thought made her very happy. Luca, Mama Mayuri, and the rest of Okabe's friends were all trying to help her get her memories back. It would probably make the most people nervous, not having their memories. It would be hard not knowing what you'd experienced. Sometimes it's probably for the better. But to be honest, Kagari didn't think she needed to remember. Sometimes it seemed like a memory was about to come back. Each time, her mind would roar with a sense of fear and anxiety. Was it not very good? Lucas saw that she'd only taken a sip and stopped, and he seemed worried. Oh, no. That's not true. It's good. I was just thinking. Thinking? Yep, but it's nothing. She took a sip of the tea, hoping they should change the subject. Anyway, Luca, are you really a boy? Hard-hitting subjects. Everyone else said he was. But still, it just didn't seem right to her. I am, yeah. You really look more like a girl, though. I don't know what to say to that. I know! Hey, how about we take a bath tomorrow? No. That's not kosher, I don't think. How old are they? I don't know. What? I don't really know if you're a boy or not. Man, Kagari has some, extreme ways of thinking, we'll put it that way. No, we can't. Why not? Because I can't take a bath with a girl. Didn't you take baths with your sister? Yes, but that was when I was little. Kagari? Sorry. It was a joke. You're so cute, I felt like I had to tease you. Oh, you're one of those. Ugh. Aww. But if you responded that way, it means you really are a boy. That's what I've been saying. Even when he was upset, he still looked like a girl, she thought. I was about to be concerned about news reports, and then I saw the phrase, all you can eat. As you can see, there are dozens of different dishes available, and they're all you can eat. Hell yeah. The TV screen had been showing all kinds of delicious food. Wow. Is this Kagari's thing? Is she a glutton? I don't know. The sight of it almost moved her to tears. This time is so wonderful. It's so different from the world that I know. Is it? What's the future like? Do you want to know? Luca looked a little uncertain. And even though she'd asked... Oh, okay, I was like... She? No. Kagari had asked him. Even though she'd asked, Kagari wasn't certain she should tell him. The future she knew was filled with despair. Everyone struggled desperately to stay alive, hoping that tomorrow would somehow be better. If they knew there was no hope, how would they survive? I don't think I do. Kagari sighed in relief. You're better off that way. The future can be changed. The future can be changed? Yeah, that's what Mom said. She said it could be changed. She said he'd change it. He'd change it. That's what Mayuri had always told Kagari. That was a tiny light of hope. What was it? Steins. What?
シュタインズゲートですか？
Steins Gate?
そうそれ
Yes, that's it!
それは必ず
Mommy said she knew it was
ママ
real!
は言ってたって言いながら
But
それ
I
が
don't really
何
know
なの
what it
か
is.
私もよくわからないんだけど
Oh god, she even laughs like Mayuri. Steins Gate. To be honest, Kaguri didn't know exactly what that meant. But each time Mayuri said it, Kaguri felt warmth in her heart. Someone would come to lead them to Steins Gate. When she thought about that, it gave her hope.
さてそれでは次の特集です
And now for the next report.
今世界で記憶の
Did you know that memory restoration technology is being studied around the globe? Today we have a special report on an American university that's at the cutting edge of this research. I swear to God, if this is Dr. Leskinen, I'm fucking noping out. Because I know what he did. I know what he did in another world line and it ain't good. I'm also noping out just as hard if it's Reyes. The news show had finished its food report and had already switched to another topic. Now it was showing a college campus covered in greenery. It was a wide open space that clearly wasn't Japanese. The second she saw it, she suddenly felt dizzy. Guess I gotta nope out. This is Victor Condria University. It may seem just like another college campus. But there's a major project going on here right now. The discussion became more technical. It was far beyond what Kaguri, who only had her memories as a child, could understand. But... should I change the channel? Oh, wait! Kaguri stopped him before he could get the remote. Kaguri, do you understand this? Yeah, they're talking about how the brain works and whether you can make false memories. Wow, that's amazing. It was too complicated for me. She suddenly found herself easily understanding what was being said. Why? How? How could she understand this? Yeah, it's not that complicated. Memories are controlled by the part of the brain called the hippocampus. And there's a special part of the hippocampus called the fascia dentata. She was surprised at what she was saying, but the words kept coming anyway. When new nerve cells are constructed there, they cause existing neurological pathways to recognize. That's what makes you forget things. I feel like I'm learning things. And so when this study team did experiments on mice, they saw false memories created. Oh, look! That room in the back! That's where they do the mice experiments and stuff. Kaguri, are you familiar with this university? Huh? She suddenly realized that Luca was looking confused. I mean, you seem to know a lot about it. The TV was showing something that looked like a lab. Yep, that's Maho's desk. I mean, if it's Maho on the TV, I don't mind noping out. It's just if it's the other two. The camera went toward the back of the room. A white door was opened that led to the next room. After seeing the results of the experiments on mice performed here, the research team... No, I don't. But just now... That's right. She wasn't familiar with it. She didn't know anything about any place like this. But... I don't know. I don't know, but... For some reason, it suddenly feels like I do. there was suddenly a piercing pain in the back of her head. It felt like the beginning of something terrifying. She suddenly felt very nervous. Listen, I'm not doing this because you asked me to. Just don't forget that. Thank you. This morning I'd gone to Tenyoji and asked him to protect Kagari if something happened. That meant I had to talk to him about his role as a rounder again. And I had to tell him that Kagari was caught up in something big, too. But since this was the second time I had that conversation, I was able to make it go a little smoother. That was only relative to the first time, though. I never wanted to ask him for anything like this ever again. So, Okabe, the hell are you people involved in? I stopped myself. You can't say, huh? You'll ask me for a favor, but you won't say anything. I'm sorry. That's good, though. What? Information is your final trump card. If you'd just come out and told me, I would have called this whole thing off. When the mind games are too good. Anyway, just be careful. Thank you, sir. I get it. Don't be so polite. That makes it so damn hard to deal with you. Bowed to him once more anyway, and then left the Brawn workshop. And I managed to get Tenyoji's help. And this morning I had gotten another person on my side as well. Kiryu Moeka. She was a lot easier than Tenyoji. I checked with Daru last night and found that just like the old bloodline, we'd hired her to find out more about Kagari. All I had to do was ask her to keep looking into what Kagari had been doing before she came to this town. Now I'd done everything I could in case something happened. All that was left was to pray that nothing did. I got back to the lab where Lukako was waiting. He had a very serious look on his face, and he said he needed to talk to me.
There's something bothering me about Kagari's memories.
Kagari's memories?
Yeah. But I don't know if it will help bring them back.
That's fine. If something's bothering you, just tell me.
Okay.
Lucas started to fidget and rub his knees together. Then he looked up at me and slowly opened his mouth.
Last night they were doing a special on memory research on TV. It was at an American university. When Kagari saw it, she acted like she recognized the school.
An American college? Which one?
It had a really complicated name. I think it was Victor Kondo?
Victor Condria University?
Oh, that's right. That's the place.
Victor Condria University. That was where Kurisu had studied. Kagari knew Victor Condria? If that was true, then how? The most obvious possibility was that she went there too. But how would a kid who went missing in Japan go to an American school? And one of the best at that. Of course, it wasn't impossible, but...
What do you think? Is this a clue?
I can't say anything just based off of that, but...
I see.
Lucas' shoulders slumped in disappointment. But that doesn't mean it's not a clue.
What? Then...
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
What did you want to talk to me about?
The best way to find out was to talk to her directly. Kagari was just about to start work, and she seemed put off by the fact I'd suddenly asked to speak to her. Can you just wait a second? I've asked another person to join us.
Another person?
I didn't know a lot about Victor Crondria myself. I could ask Kagari what she knew about the school, but I couldn't tell if her information was accurate or not. There was a better person she could ask. Someone who should be here any minute. Someone who I'm hoping is 4'7". I don't know if that's her actual height. I'm just hoping it's not Leskinen, basically.
Excuse me.
The best way to find out about the school was to ask someone who actually went there. In fact, Maho was to this day part of the brain science lab.
Oh, Maho. Hello. Hi, how have you been?
Maho still didn't know that Kagari was from the future. I'd have to keep her from finding out.
You know, she really does look like Kurisu.
Maho stared at Kagari and then whispered so that only I could hear. It made sense. I've been surprised myself. I started by explaining to Maho why I'd brought her here.
So what? You think she might have gone to my school? Wait a second. I don't know anything about this Victor Crondo. What's its place? Victor Crondria University. See? I don't even remember the name.
But yesterday you acted like you recognized it. Right, Lukako?
Yeah. They said they did most experiments in the back room. Then after that, they actually showed the experiments in that room.
Do you remember that, Kagari?
I don't.
I couldn't imagine Lukako would lie or that there would be any point to him doing so. But the same was true for Kagari too.
Yoshibara, do you remember where that lab was? I don't know the details, but they said they were doing research on memories in the brain. Which means it might be the brain science lab?
The brain science lab. That was where...
That's where I work.
And also where Kurisu worked too. Then... Kagari may have met you in Kurisu?
It's just a possibility. There's more than one place the researcher's Brain Science Institute. And it's not just grad students where I work. There's a lot of regular scientists too. Even I haven't met everyone at the lab. But if I saw another Japanese person there, I'm sure I'd remember that.
This meant that she didn't remember it. Which means she probably hadn't met her. Lukako, was there anything else about Kagari you noticed?
Kagari sometimes knows about things that are really complicated. Hey, they know some complicated things.
Kagari pouted. That was one expression that was totally different from Kurisu's.
For example? Roses and depression?
These were just words that were complicated to write in Japanese.
They were doing a special on fake memories last night, and you seemed to like you knew a lot about it. Fake memories, huh? Yeah, one of the teams is working on that. We went to talk to them one time.
Kagari, can you talk about that now?
I don't really know. Did I really talk about that stuff? You did.
She put her hand between her eyebrows and thought. If she really didn't remember, it seemed. Has this happened a lot before?
Not that much until recently. It's only started happening over the last few days.
I didn't know how Kagari could know things about Victorchrondria. But it clearly had something to do with her missing memories. If I followed the trail a little longer, I might learn some clues. It was possible I may be able to bring back her memories. Suddenly, she started to moan in pain.
Kagari, what's wrong? I had a kind of... It hurts?
Lukiko was looking at her face, worried.
Yeah, just a bit.
Want to lie down a little?
I'm fine.
Maybe this is all too sudden.
That's right, we may have put too much stress on her.
Maho was looking worried too.
Are you really okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Senpai. I hope so.
The conversation was so natural. The Maho and I almost missed it. Hey, did she just...
Yeah. She called me Senpai. Huh?
Kagari, you just called Hiajo Senpai, right?
No way. I didn't... Nope, you definitely did. Urishibara, you heard it too, right?
God damn it, is Kagari just actually a Kurisu clone? Is that what they did? Did you just find this little lost girl and put Kurisu's memories into her? I don't know at this point.
Yes.
Senpai. The Japanese word used to address an older classmate or colleague. I just learned that Maho and Kagari hadn't met at Victorchrondria. Did that mean it was just a mistake? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs distracted me. They were so heavy, there was no need to wonder who it was. Hey!
Hello.
Oh, you're here, Maho-tan?
Don't call me that.
Do I have enough? 1, 2, 3... He ignored Maho's complaints and started to count the number of people in the room. There was some kind of paper bag in his hands. Okay, I've got enough. Enough what? You know how they opened a new atoll in front of the station? They were selling some good-looking pudding. I thought it might be a nice treat, so I bought some enough for everyone. Look at Daru being thoughtful. He put down the bag, opened the box, and started putting the pudding cups on the table. Daru, do it later. Why you all look so upset? Is it that rare for me to buy something for everybody? Well, I guess it is. But I got some extra work at my job, you see. Not only am I talented, I'm also kind-hearted and I got paid! Feel free to fall in love, ladies. Huh? turned the bag over and started shaking it. I'm missing a spoon. I bet the staff forgot to put one in.
I think there's a clean spoon in the sink. Oh, I've got my own spoon I always use.
She already has her damn spoon! God damn it, Kurisu! Lukako stood up to get a spoon from the sink, and then suddenly stopped. He looked at Kaguri with a confused expression.
Kaguri-san. Kaguri? Do you own a spoon?
It's the dumbest... I feel like that's the best, dumbest, out of context question I've ever heard. Kaguri, do you own a spoon? Oh god. It's great because I know what it means.
Huh? I thought all you had with you was the Yuba keychain, right? Huh? That's right, isn't it? That's strange. Why did I say I had one?
Her own spoon. I'd heard someone say that before. Not many people carried their own spoons around. It was common in Japan to carry around your own personal set of chopsticks lately, but not spoons. But I knew. I had known someone who carried around her own spoon. It was Makase Kurisu. Just a moment ago, she called Maho Senpai. Did Kaguri know Kurisu after all? Really? Put two and two together. Hey, Hijo. How many people called you Senpai in America?
Just one. It's a Japanese word, and a Japanese concept after all.
There was no need to even ask who it was.
The only one who called me Senpai was Kurisu. Kurisu?
Kaguri, do you know a girl named Makase Kurisu?
Kurisu. Makase Kurisu.
Did she know her? And was she imitating her? But why would she need to do that?
Makase Kurisu.
Kaguri seemed to be desperately searching her memories, but it didn't seem to be working. There was sweat on her forehead. Her headache might still be bothering her. Don't force yourself. There's need to remember something immediately.
No. It feels creepy leaving it like this. You feel like you can remember something? I don't know. Try saying something, Okarin.
Huh? What? What's going on here? The fact that Kaguri responded this strongly to Kurisu's name meant there had to be some relationship. What could it possibly be? Dude, come the hell on. I mean, like, I feel like I know what it is, because I know, well, they were talking about, like, implanting memories into something else, and I know Leskin did some pretty fucking shady shit, so I'm going out on a limb and assuming it's that one. The dumbest answer I've reached is, yeah, somehow, like, I'll save that and I'll be like, if the dumbest answer comes to possibly be, which turns out to be, yeah, somehow Kaguri is Kurisu Charles from a different timeline and somehow she's here, I don't fucking know. But if that's the possibility, God help us all. We're gonna break the reality at some point. The question was this. What had Kaguri been doing ever since she separated from Suzuha in 1998? And if she never met Maho, did she ever meet Kurisu? Maybe she became friends with Kurisu and learned a lot about her. Then she got in Kurisu's stories mixed up with her own memories? Or I remember the machine that Kurisu had developed in the Alpha World line and came up with a certain hypothesis. I quickly told myself that it was bullshit, like I've been doing the past 5 episodes. My eyes met Maho's. She nodded.
Kagari.
Okay, Kagari. Let me ask you some questions. For now, I want to learn how much Kagari knew about Kurisu. Where is your father?
Daddy died when I was a kid.
If her memories were mixed up with Kurisu's, she wouldn't say that. Those were Kagari's memories. She said she remembered everything from before, like she was 10 years old. Everything before she was 10 years old, even. She'd only lost her memories after she'd separated from Suzuha in 1998. I'd have to go a little deeper. Then what does the word Kurigohan mean to you?
Kurigohan? What are you talking about?
Answer me, please. Kagari.
Kurigohan.
Hey, we got there!
Kamehameha?
Everyone else seemed confused. But I felt as if my heart was about to stop. How could she know? Kurigohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's @channel handle. Not only did she keep that a secret, she almost never let anyone know she posted on that channel. She'd never would have told anyone. How could Kagari know something that only Kurisu should know? More sweat poured down from Kagari's forehead. Luca offered her a handkerchief, worried. Kagari nodded and took it. Kagari, can you tell me how many major theories of time travel there are? Maho looked like she wanted to say something, but I motioned for her to stay quiet.
11.
Kagari spoke clearly, as if the answer was the most obvious thing in the world.
11 in total.
あれ違ったか
Wait,
な
is that right?
I hadn't expected much when I'd asked the question. I certainly hadn't expected that. The terrifying possibility I thought of earlier was becoming more and more real. It was impossible. It had to be. The more I tried to convince myself, the more my fears grew.
11の理論を
Can you tell me what these 11 theories are?
中性子星理論
Neutron star theory?
ブ
Then
ラックホール理論
black hole
に
theory?
高速理
Light
論
speed theory?
多気温理論
Tachyon theory? Wormhole theory?
エキ
Exotic
ゾチッ
matter
ク物質
theory?
理論
Kagari was counting with her fingers and speaking with very little hesitation.
宇宙ひも理論
Cosmic string
量子重
theory?
力理
Quantum
論
gravity theory?
セ
Cesium
レ
laser
素
theory?
粒子リングレーザー理論
Elementary particle ring and laser
デ
theory?
ラック
And
反粒子理
lastly,
論
Dirac antiparticle theory.
I might have butchered. Of all the words to butcher, Dirac is probably the one that I screwed up the most there.
全部
Those are all correct.
Maho's voice was hoarse.
岡部さん
Tell me, Okabe,
私
how do I know all
そんな
this?
こと知ってるんだろう
Kagari looked like she was about to cry a little.
もう一つ聞くが
Can I ask you one thing?
それらの理論を用いて
Could you use those theories to build a time machine?
できないと思う
I don't think so.
Oh.
でもこの
Oh,
11の理論
but
で
even
は
if you
作れない
couldn't
け
use
ど
those 11 theories,
今後の
science
科
may
学
invent
の
a new
発展
theory
次
that
第
works
では
someday.
できなくもないじゃあ
Word for word.
どうしてそう思う
Why do you think so?
どうして
Why?
それは
That's
本
because
当ねどうしてだろう
I don't know.
じゃあ質問を変えよ
Then let me ask you another question.
うその考え方に
How did you arrive at that conclusion?
なぜだ
わかんないけど
I don't know. Just
ただ
to somehow I knew.
知ってたような。
She knew, huh? That meant the knowledge existed inside of her. But why did she have that knowledge? Had she been to Victor Crondria at some time in the past and met Kurisu there? Maybe they were close friends. So close that Kurisu would share her at-channel nickname, which she never told anyone? And then perhaps she mistook what she heard from Kurisu as her own memories? That was the most obvious possibility. But that would go against what Kurisu had said. Kurisu said she didn't really have any close friends in America. She seemed to have developed a solid relationship with Maho at work, but the dark fear in my mind kept growing.
なあ、ヒアジョーさん。
Hey, Hyojo,
アマデウスは凍結
remember how you
され
said
たと言ってい
Amadeus
た
was put on hold?
アップロードされていたクリスの記憶
Does
で
the uploaded memory from data from Kurisu still exist?
多分
Yeah,
破棄はさ
probably.
れていないはず
I
だけ
don't
ど。
think it was erased.
それって
How many
どれだけの
people
人
could
間が
access
アクセスで
that?
きたんだ。
ごく限られた人間だけ
Very few.
どこにも公表はして
We
いなか
never
った。
really announced it anywhere.
私やレスキネン教授
Myself, Dr. Liskinen, a few of the other assistants, and then Kurisu.
ちなみに
Another question.
その記憶データを
Would it be possible to transfer that memory data to a human brain?
可能だったりするよな。
Huh?
In the other world line, Maho herself, or Dr. Leskinen to be precise, had said something about that at the ATF seminar. And I had experienced it myself. Through a machine that digitized human memories and sent them through time and then back to the same person's brain. It didn't exist in this world line, but I once lived in a world line where it was developed in this very room. I'd used it far more times than I had ever wanted to. And because of that experience, I came up with an idea. A terrifying idea. Another way to explain what was happening to Kagari right now.
一体何を
What are you getting at?
マイスプーンを持ち歩いていたのは
Kurisu was the one who had her own personal
クリ
spoon.
スなんだ。大学でヒアジョーさんのことを
She was the only one who called you senpai at
クリ
school.
スだけだ。栗ご飯とカメハメハ
Kuri Gohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's handle on at channel. I'm the only one who knew about it besides her.
以外だとクリスなら
Kurisu would know about the lab at Victor Crondria.
知ってるマウス実験のことも
She would know about the mouse experiments.
11のタイムマシン理
She would
論
know about the 11 theories of time travel.
オカリンさん
Okarin?
どういうこと
What do you mean?
何が言いたいの
What are you trying to say?
This is my
俺につい
idea.
た仮説だ。
I looked around the room and everyone, and then back at Kagari.
かがり
Kagari,
もしかしたら君の頭の中
it may be
には
possible that you have Makase Kurisu's memories
マキとクリ
inside
スの
you.
記憶が移植されているかもしれない。
かがりの頭の中に
Kagari has Makase Kurisu's memories?
God, I've forgotten how to do Suzua's voice. You've been gone for like 3 episodes and I've forgotten how to do it. Jeez. Sorry, I need to apply more Bonjello because I can't do this with a lisp. If I've been lisping and it's mouth ulcers, blame them. Don't know why, it just happens every now and then. God, why do they have to be on the very fucking tip of my tongue as well, so it's real hard to speak? Let me try reading this one again just to make sure I'm actually like in the mindset to do Suzua's voice.
Kagari has Makase Kurisu's memories?
I'm not, but it'll have to do for the time being. Suzua didn't seem as surprised as I had expected. Maho and I had asked her some more questions after that. About Victor Crondria. About her research. Her answers were all over the place. Some things she knew and some things she didn't. But some of the things she knew were things only Maho and Kurisu would have known. In the end, instead of being overturned, my hypothesis came out even stronger. All the questions seemed to tire Kagari out, and with Tenyoji's permission, Lukako took her home. Maho had completely refused to accept what I was saying, but she did say before that she left. She did say before she left that she'd look into whether it was possible to transfer Amadeus' memory data into another human being. And that night, I explained the situation to Suzuha.
それってかがりが二重
So you mean Kagari has two personalities?
いや
No,
そうじゃない。
that's not it.
二重人格っていうのは
The proper word for multiple personalities is dissociative identity disorder.
誰かの中に
That's when additional personalities are created within the person themselves. Like that bastard that won't get out of my brain. You know you're up there. You know I'm swearing at you.
言うなれば
It's
今の
like
自分に対する不満
you're
や不安
upset or uneasy about who you are, so you make another personality
別の
within
人格を
yourself.
作ってしまうようなものだな
Once in a while, there would be a case where someone would take the personality of a man or a woman they admired, but usually it was a completely original one.
でもかがりの場合は
But that's not what's going on with Kagari.
かがりの中にあるのは
She doesn't have her
人格じゃない。
She doesn't have her
文
personality.
字通り
What she's got is, quite literally, only Kurisu's memories.
クリスの記憶だけが
It's possible that
彼
Kurisu's
女の
memories are
頭の
mixed
中
in
に
with her
混
own.
在していると考えられる
Kagari's memories weren't overwritten. She still had them. So they mixed together.
なるほど
I see.
2036年の
With 2036's technology, that's certainly
不
possible.
可能な話じゃない
じゃあ
Then, since Kagari's a time traveler from that year, it's a possibility?
その可能性はあるということか
But she has her memories from when she was 10, right? If they put someone else's memories into her head, she should remember that, right?
あの子は幼い頃
I think I heard her say once in a while back then she heard the voice of
聞
God.
いたような気がする
幻聴か
A hallucination?
クリスの記憶から
It's possible that's a product of Kurisu's memories leaking out.
Yeah,
ただ未来は
but the future wasn't as peaceful as this era. There weren't enough people, and there weren't enough supplies.
記憶を移植するなんていう
Even if they did have memory transfer technology, it would have been a military secret.
一般人もしか
I
も
can't imagine them using it on a civilian, especially a kid.
かがりは繊細孤児だった
Kagari was a war orphan.
PTSD を治療す
There's
る
no chance it was used to cure her
そういう技術が
PTSD?
使われたということは
だからって他人の記
That
憶を
wouldn't
移植する
explain why they'd transfer someone else's memories into her.
だな
That's right.
となると記憶
Which means it's more likely that this was done during the time when she had no memories.
その移植
Between 1998 and now.
高くなってくるが
Even if it's possible in 2036, is it possible right now?
クリスなら
Kurisu could do it. She done it all by herself to make the time leap machine, after all.
マキセ・クリスが
So Makase Kursu transferred her own memories to Kagari?
彼女はそんな
Why would she do that?
サイエンティストみたいなことを
It's like something a mad scientist would do.
There was no way. It was impossible. It had to be. And there weren't even many people as smart as Makase Kurisu. If she didn't do it, I couldn't imagine anyone else would.
そうだよな
That's right.
突飛な発想すぎるよな
I'm getting ahead of myself.
俺
I
だって
agree.
そう思う
I might have been getting too attached to my own idea.
でもクリスしか
There's no
知ら
doubt
ない
that Kagari knows things only
カガ
Kurisu
リが
could
知ってい
know.
るのは間違いないんだ
Maybe like Makase's soul became a ghost and possessed her?
お前そんなオカルト話
Don't even think of saying that around here, Joe.
披露してみろ
She'd laugh in your face.
全力で論破されるぞ
You've got that right. In the end, I realized there was nothing I could do for Kagari but watch for a while to see how things went. We were just students without any kind of specialized knowledge. No matter how much we debated or what ideas we came up with, we wouldn't be able to find the answer that easily.
そういえばダルユキさんはどうしてる
Come to think of it, Daru, what's Yuki up to? Amane, she's busy with work every day, it looks like.
彼女は何の
What does she
バイト
do
をしてる
again?
んだった？
ケーキ屋さんって聞いてる。
Works at a cake bakery, I heard. She said it's really good and we should go check it out.
That's right. But it's a little far away, isn't it?
That's why she'd be happy if you went, right? Get a grip, Dad.
Oh, right. My bad. Wait, Ocarin, why are you asking anyway?
いや、
Oh, no
ちょっ
reason.
と気になってな。
I was just curious. That girl on the motorcycle suit. Could that have been Yuki Amane? I still haven't convinced myself it wasn't her. If it was, she may be involved in some way with what was to happening to Kagari. That attack only took place in the other world line. It hadn't happened in this one, so I had no way to tell.
もし彼女のことで何か
If there was something she... Hmm?
母さんがどうかしたの？
Something going on with Mom?
いや、
No, it's nothing. I still didn't have any proof. I just have to keep an eye on her. My priority right now was Kagari. What had happened during the time when she'd lost her memories? If I could find that out, I might be able to understand what was about to happen to us.
それじゃあ始めるわよ。いい？
Okay, I'm going to get started. Ready? Yeah.
Maho came to the lab again the next day. She was there to look at Kagari's memories. Kagari had volunteered to work with her. As of yesterday, my hypothesis was still just a hypothesis. And anytime she saw a
まず
hypothesis...
はこれを見てもらえる？
Give me... God, I'm skipping over things. And anytime she saw a hypothesis, she just wanted to test it. Maybe that's just how scientists were.
First, can you look at this?
Maho held up a cell phone. There was a picture displayed on its screen. It was a corridor with white walls and clean white floors. And two people wearing white lab coats were walking down it.
これがどこだかわかる？
Do you know where this is?
と、
Um,
学校？
a school?
どこの？
Which school?
ビクトル・コンドリア大学の。
Victor Cronria University.
この手前に歩いてる人。
Do you know who this is in
彼の
front?
名前は？トニー・ブラウン。あだ名
Tony
は
Brown.
JB。
Brown.
興奮する
His
と。
name is JB because he does this weird little dance when he gets excited.
じゃあこっちの彼女は？
Then who's the girl?
わかんない。
I don't know.
どうだ？
Well,
彼女も私たち研究者の間では
She's pretty famous among our scientists.
クリスだって
Carissa would definitely
当然知
know
ってる
her.
はずだわ。
仮にカガリがクリスの記憶を持ってい
it
ると
looks
して
like
も
even if Kagari does have Kurisu's memories, she can't recall them all perfectly. That's how it seemed yesterday, too.
記憶として呼び起こされるものと
Maybe there's some things she can remember and other things she can't?
だからってこの程度じゃま
That
だ
doesn't mean we can't say for sure that these are Carisu's memories yet.
彼らのことくらい
Anyone could find out about these two with a little research.
かがりさん
Kagari,
もう少
can I ask you
し
some more
突っ込んだ質問を
questions?
してもいい？
Okay.
去年の冬私と
Last
クリスで
winter, Carissa
映
and
画
I
を
would
見
see a
に行ったこと
movie.
があるの。
ヒアジョーさんとクリスが
You and Kurisu did?
意外？
Is that
私
surprising?
たちだってた
Even
まに
we
は
need a
研
break
究する。
sometimes. Normally all we do
普
is
段は
work.
研究ばかりだけど。
It was surprising, actually. I thought they'd interacted outside of work.
研究でちょっと詰まってた私を
I was hitting a little wall in my research, so she took me out.
たまたまチケ
She
ットが
said
2
she
枚
just
ある
happened
か
to
ら
have
って
two tickets.
It's just like how a man asks a girl out on a date. She never was any good with that stuff.
その時に見た映画のタイトル
Do you have any idea what the title of that movie was?
と
Um,
ボブ・ワイナー監督の
Bob Weiner's His and Her for Boating?
Well, that's concerning. Maho gulped. That must have been the right answer.
それって最近の
Is
映
that
画
a
か
new movie?
聞いた
I've
こと
never
ない
heard
な
of it.
20年前の作品
It's 20 years old.
そのリバイ
This
バ
was
ル
a
上映だ
revival
ったのよ
showing.
And Kagari had guessed it. She'd known the title for a movie that Kurisu and Maho had gone to see together in private. And since it wasn't a major worldwide release, it wasn't something you could get with just a lucky guess.
でもそれも
But-
誰か
but somebody could have witnessed it.
いればわかることよ
だが
Sure.
君が今
How do you know they
日
were going to ask you that
そんな質問をするという
question?
ことは予想できなかったはずだかがりがそのために
Are you saying she memorized every tiny bit of information you could possibly ask about? It would be impossible. And she didn't have a reason to bother anyway.
私だってそのくらいのこと
It's not like I don't know that.
I could tell from the pained expression on her face that Maho was struggling with something. And I was starting to realize what it was. She didn't want to admit it. She didn't want to admit that it was possible. It was winter, but Kagari's forehead was dripping with sweat again. Going through her confused memories may have been putting a lot of stress on her.
これぐらいにしようかがりが
That's
きつそうだ
enough. This looks like it's hard on Kagari.
待って
Wait,
最後にもう一つだ
just
け
let me ask one more question. Yeah,
どうぞ
okay, go ahead.
Kagari nodded and motioned for her to go ahead.
子供の頃
What was your greatest treasure when you were a
してい
kid?
たものは何子供の頃
When I was a kid?
それはアメリカに移住して
Even
から
after you
も
moved to America, you always kept it in your
ずっと部屋に置
room.
いてあったイルカのぬいぐるみ
A stuffed
水
dolphin.
族館に行った時
Dad bought it for me when we went to the
買ってくれ
aquarium.
た
I take it back, she's a JoJo reference. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Maho sighed and sunk onto the sofa.
合ってるのか
Is she right?
Yep.
昨日
Kursu's mom told me about it on the phone last night.
電話で教えてくれたわこのことを知ってるのは
The only people who knew about that were Kursu and her parents.
それじゃあ
Then,
悔しいけど
I hate to admit it, but this hypothesis of yours,
否定できない
I can't rule it out.
そうか
I see.
私どうなっちゃうのか
What's going to happen to me?
I didn't have an answer. I didn't even know how this had happened in the first place. The only possibility I could think of was
かがりさん付き合わせて悪かったわ
Kagari,
ね
sorry to make you go through all this. Get some rest.
Maho stood up with a serious expression on her face.
帰るのか
You're leaving?
Yeah,
自分なりに
there's still
ま
some
だ
things I
継
can
承
check
で
on
き
my
ることは
own.
残っていそうだからそれじゃあまた
Okay, see you later.
Maho got up and went to the door without bothering to look back. She seemed to be silently shutting out the entire world. All we could do was watch her go.